Welcome to Workshop Wednesday, where we're going to go through the basic extensions every measurement marketer must be using. Welcome, my name is Julie Brody. I am the Director of Measurement for MeasurementMarketing.io. I have been building actionable dashboards for a really long time and eventually became a measurement marketer and then started teaching measurement marketing to people like you so you can level up those skills. We still actually do this for our own clients and we teach all kind of other different clients, walk them through that, meaning we get to see all kind of other different scenarios. So if you have a question, our team absolutely loves a good puzzle, so we'd love to hear from you. So let us know if you have any questions. We're always happy to help. So as we go through this workshop, we're going to remind you of the one thing. Remember the one thing that you can take and apply right now, and don't worry about the 15 other things that might seem like golden nuggets. Just get one thing, apply it, then come back, watch it again, and get something else. That's the way it's a little bit by little bit and not so overwhelming. So let's go ahead and get started. With basic extensions, every measurement marketer must be using. But first, always, we're going to dive into this thing we call the measurement marketing framework. If you've never seen that, no worries. We do have an entire course for you called Win the Measurement Marketing Framework that is free and available to everybody to look through and, kind of have this aha moments. But basically, we're helping you understand that everyone starts out marketing in the blind, this chaotic marketing, and everyone wants to be able to reliably grow their revenue profits. They want to know what button to push, lever to pull, what thing to do in order to increase whatever it is they're trying to increase: conversions, revenue, profits, all the things. In order to do that, you need to go through the steps of plan, build, and launch. And to do that, you go through understanding what questions you need to ask, the information you need, the actions you're going to take. This whole thing right here, plan, build, this plan, the questions, informations, and actions, it helps you make sure that you're not going to go down the rabbit hole and asking the wrong thing and gathering the wrong information, chasing your tail, and making sure that you're actually going to be able to take action. So you can go into your build knowing the results, traffic, and story. And then you go into your launch where you listen, forecast, and optimize. So then again, you're going to go from marketing in the blind to be able to know exactly what's working, what's not. And if you want to know more about this, hold tight. We have an entire course and all kind of other freebies for you to be able to access that. All right, let's go ahead and check out some of these extensions that you should be using. So here we are inside of our Chrome. And the very first Chrome extension that is absolutely a crowd favorite and something that we use consistently is this thing called Google Analytics UTM Builder by Asaf. So basically what this does is it allows you to, whatever URL you are currently on, or you can paste whatever URL you want to be in there, you can very quickly create UTMs. So let's say you're on a call and you're working with your Facebook ads person or another team member or something, and you need to create a UTM really quick. Obviously, we would suggest you use a UTM builder, like a spreadsheet, the same type of tool that we have back there in the toolbox, and use that. But if you're really on the go and need something quickly, all you have to do is type it in, Facebook, and let's say CPC, and you could do keyword academy, whatever it is, and then it could be some sort of other thing. Oops, the keyword would be academy, campaign would be academy. There we are. And then we have the UTM right here ready to go for us to use. And you just copy it and you can use that. There's all kind of other new features that it has that's kind of grown over the past few years. But for the basic of whatever we need, this is absolutely perfect. If you're going through and testing things for a client, we always recommend you use test UTMs, or so that way you can go through and remove your traffic from the dashboard. Say, hey, I don't need to see anything that is a source of test. And this is a very quick and easy way to go ahead and grab that and set this up for yourself. You can even go ahead and add, have presets where you can go through and do that here. Obviously, it seems like it's a pro, it's a paid version now, but this is absolutely a must-have for measurement marketers so that you can go ahead and build those UTMs super quick, especially as you're getting started working with clients. Have your clients do that so they can go through, again, a spreadsheet tool where you can be consistent and make sure there's not any of the naming conventions incorrect would be a better option. But this is a great on-the-go option for once you know the strategy for that. The next tool that we would recommend, or Chrome extension, is the GA debug. And right now it's turned off. If I click on here, it's going to turn itself on. I'm going to right click and you can even come in here and see what it is going to tell us. It is this guy right here. It's like little, it kind of looks like an envelope, but it's actually a chart going up. And so what this guy is really good for is if you want to kind of see behind the scenes of what's going on. So I'm going to now right click and I'm going to inspect. And so it kind of brought up this Chrome DevTools, and what I can go to is now go to the console, and that's what this guy is helping us do, is seeing kind of like what information is being sent to Google Analytics. That's what this GA debugger is doing. Something else it does is if you don't have Tag Manager or you want to go into the debug for Google Analytics, having this guy on allows you to see it in a debug view. And I have that pulled up. Let's switch our screens over to a different one over here, and we're going to go into debug view. And so here we are. Even though I'm not in Tag Manager preview mode, I have that debug turned on, and so that's why I'm seeing some of this here. So this is a great tool, like if you're not using Google Tag Manager or you don't have access to your client's Google Tag Manager yet, you can go through and see this in your debug view in GA4 by using just this simple Chrome extension, this one, making sure it's turned on. Then you do have another tool that is also for kind of seeing the behind the scenes, but more for Tag Manager. And as you can see, as I'm highlighting, it says deprecated. So meaning it's not going to keep updating. Google plans on making it go away. But basically it was this tool where if we say enable, and then we're going to refresh the page, it basically told us, hey, you have all these different things firing on your page. You know, you have this tag and you have this tag. And it was really, really nice. It's always been great at seeing what's there quickly. However, Google's not going to maintain this one. It's saying it's legacy. We can see if we hover over the name, it now says deprecated. So we honestly don't know when they're going to pull the plug on this. And since so many marketers rely on this, we wanted to make sure we found a good solution to share with you. And when one of our mastermind calls, we actually like, ooh, what are we going to use? And we came across this little guy, which seems absolutely phenomenal so far. Obviously, there are probably other ones out there like this that are doing the same thing, but this is the one that we all really, really liked. And it is called Analytics GTM Pixel Debugger. And be very careful with this name. Look for the logo, look for Asaf. He is actually the same one. I don't know if you saw the name. That's the same person. And this one we've been using for almost a decade. So I would say at least 8 years we've been using this guy. And so when I saw that he made this one, I was so excited because I'm like, oh my gosh, I know it's going to be a good one. So hats off to you, Asaf. Yeah, I know this is going to be great. And I'm so excited to share this with everybody because we're going to come back to this guy here. Basically, it allows you to see a lot of things that are going on your page, and it's not just the Google Analytics thing. So remember, this guy right here is just showing us the Google stuff like Google Ads and Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics. This one right here is going to show us all the things. All the things. And it's so exciting to see. So, as you know, I'm really kind of, obviously excited about this one, but like, it's going to make your life so much easier. So you're going to see if Facebook finds, you're going to see if LinkedIn's firing, you're going to see if TikTok's firing, you're going to see if Taboola's on the page. And the really cool thing too, and I highly encourage you to play with this, is as you're going through and testing your client site or something, you can record it. You guys know how hard it is to make sure that Facebook add to cart happens because it's happening kind of like in a little blip of an eye, and you got to make like, ooh, is it firing? Is it firing? Is it firing? This one allows you to record, so then you'll be able to go back and watch the recording, which is technically you're exporting, importing, that type of thing. You can export the recording, You can go back and watch it so you make sure, oh, yep, it did have add to cart. Oh, yes, and it did have all the parts and pieces it needed. And so you can go through that. And then I'm actually going to go into, I believe it's one of these pages. It'll actually give us an error because as we go through and teach things, sometimes we pass through things and we intentionally leave things out. And so here we go. We have an error. It's telling us, hey, something is incorrect. So we're clicking on this guy. And it says we obviously very clearly can see something's going on with this one. And what is our error? It's telling us it's expecting some additional information. So for those of you that are familiar with Google Analytics 4, for certain events, which is this view item, it's requiring certain things to be passed through with it. And it's telling us, hey, we don't have this information, so this is incorrect. And again, this is just us teaching stuff, so we kind of throw it in there real quick and let it go. And so this is a correct error. Like if we did have an e-com store or something, we're relying on this, this would be an error. So it's great that it's going through and telling us this. Now, does it work for the Facebook and TikTok and all the other platforms? I don't know, but we haven't seen any other issues with it. So I haven't seen it where it doesn't do whatever it's expecting it to do. So again, this one, or if you have something like it, absolutely this is something you would need to be able to see quickly and easily, is the thing that I need to fire, is it firing? And is it working? Is it, passing through all the details I need it to pass through? Again, I really, really like this, and all the other measurement marketers we saw in the mastermind really like this one because you can record it. And for us, that's a really big deal because we have several team members and we want to be able to, share with the team members, oh, this is the thing that's not working. We need to fix this. And so it just makes it a whole lot easier, saves a whole lot of time with that as well. So hats off to Asaf for making another incredible Chrome extension. So encourage you to get that one and test that one out. Another Chrome extension that we encourage you to have is Tag Assistant Companion. So this is the thing that if you're using Google Tag Manager, you have to have this one to make it work. So it's just plain and simple. You got to have that to make Google Tag Manager work so you can go into preview mode for that one. Then for those of you that are in social media, you probably already know about these, but if you don't, there is the TikTok Pixel Helper as well as the Bing and Facebook Meta. All that stuff is here as well. I honestly would have all of these, even though this one is going to tell us all the things we want to know, I would still make sure that you have it here as well as these other ones, just so you can, have a correlation of the data. And obviously this is what your Facebook one is going to show and all this other fun stuff. You can see all those details there, as well as you can see those details in here, which is kind of nice. You can go through and you can see all that fun stuff, which is just super cool. The little nerdy me is like really excited that there's a new Chrome extension that is just wipes the floor with all the other ones. Next, we have several that are a little bit more for like behind the scenes, kind of like what we have this debug view, but much more in depth. And so the first one here is called WASP. And you can kind of look, you can click on it and it's like, what in the world is this? I will show you what I use this tool for. You might find something completely different for it. And so we're still in our Chrome tools here, and I'm going to click on this WASP, and I'm going to choose to reload the page. And we're going to give it a moment, and as it's doing its thing, it's thinking through all this fun stuff. And then it finally pops open and starts adding. So what I use WASP for, and this has happened several times, as you can see here, hey, we have this Facebook thing and it has these little arrows and whatnot, and we could see, okay, what is this happening? Sometimes we'll have Facebook double firing, or there's more than one, or there's something going on, or like, what is happening? Where is this coming from? We could be like, it's not coming from Tag Manager. And then we would want to know, where is it coming from? If one time we found it came from Admiral, and another time we found it came from Monstra Insights and stuff like that. And just because we're able to kind of trace back and just kind of look through, like, okay, where could it be coming from? And we just kind of walk back through all of that. And so it's not like It's not going to spell out the answer for you, but it could guide you. Like, hey, let's go make sure that Monster Insights doesn't have that little checkbox checked where we're accidentally double firing. And so it's just, again, it's not going to tell you exactly, but it could guide you to that answer. I've never used WASP for anything else because there's other tools out there that I think could give a more useful answer for that. You can look at the data layer for these different things. You could see them in here. All the different other details. Again, this is just a little bit more nerdy. There are other tools that can better answer these type of questions here, such as this little guy. So these Google Analytics debugger, I'm just going to pop into this one right here so you can go through and see some of his updates here for this one. Let me actually use, and so if we see, this guy is called Analytics Debugger. So I'm going to click on this Chrome DevTools Analytics Debugger, and then we can tell it, hey, start debugging. And it can go through and kind of, again, it's a little bit more nerdy, it's a little bit more devy. If this means absolutely nothing to you, then don't worry about it. Again, there's so many other different ways you can get this information. This is more of a developer tool, and if that's not your skill set, then don't worry about it. Let someone else on your team know exactly what all this does. But it's a really great tool for those that need to see the devy things, need to see these different things. They're able to really be able to dive deeper with a simple Chrome tool that's for free for the most part. Most of these are all free, and with the exception of some of these other ones where we mentioned, like, oh, there is a paid option. And the same thing with Data Slayer. So if I'm going to hover on this one right here, it says Data Slayer. Here is this guy right here doing something very, very similar, just kind of giving you a sneak peek behind the scenes of what's going on the page, so you can kind of grab whatever information it is you need to kind of troubleshoot with that. Data Layer Checker is another tool where we can go through and click on this guy, and you can go through and see some of these other, again, devy, nerdy, different things. Depending on whatever it is your task that you're trying to do, you can get a lot of different parts and pieces, informations that you need to be able to answer the questions or improve your measurement setup for this. And if this is not what you normally do, if this is like way over your head, that is perfectly fine. Eventually you may grow into using these skills for something else. Most of the time it's our other team members that are doing something like this, and we actually go into the page and we see that. But some of you, I know quite a few measurement marketers really enjoy using these tools because it helps them get to the answers faster. Now, we're done with the devy, nerdy, extra things, and now we're going into more of the design things. And so you see this little guy right here. His name is Color Picker Eyedropper. I've been using this one probably 6-7 years. And there are several other Chrome extensions that do something very, very similar. Choose the one that works best for you, the one you see that feels the easiest for you to use. But what it does, it allows you to go through and, let's say I need to use this color green in my dashboard, in my spreadsheet, in my whatever it is. I need to give this color to the design team so they make sure they use that color. And as you can see, we have the different variations of this particular color so that I can grab that information and use that. And you can have all kind of other different options here. I can use this, this tan, this navy. I can go through and grab the purple, the orange. I can grab any of those colors, and I actually highly encourage you to do so that you can make your clients' dashboards, your dashboards, so much more branded for your client, so it looks like it is their dashboard. So here's actually an example of our dashboard. This guy right here, let's go ahead and get rid of you. This dashboard is an example of one of our dashboards, and you can see all of the colors match exactly what it is with our branded colors because we use this tool. And our clients absolutely are usually blown away when they get a dashboard that is completely branded to them. The other way to brand your dashboard, and I just recently started using this, very recently, but it's super neat, where you can choose what font. And you click on this and you just hover. Sometimes it takes a moment, I notice, but you hover and it changes what font it is. So as you can see, it kind of gives us a little bit, because this is an image, so it's acting a little bit weird, but then we go to where it actually is text, and you're good to go. So you can then change the font for your client's dashboard to make it align with either the exact font or something really similar so that you can, again, brand your client's dashboard to make it more like what it is that is for their branded standards. So those are some different Chrome tools for dev tools that you can use, excuse me, Chrome extensions that you can use for design. Here are the more the dev ones that you could use to kind of get behind the scenes. And then for your tagging and measurement, you have all of these again. As you see, we don't have just one. We have multiple for multiple purposes, just in case one does better than the other. And then now, how in the world do we get these guys into our Chrome? Because you can see we have at least a dozen different tools here. How do we get them into our Chrome for incognito is the right way of saying that. As you can see, we only have a few here, but if you're incognito, you're testing, you need to be able to have access to certain tools. So the way to do that, you can go into your extensions and you can manage your extensions. And let's say we want this one right here to be incognito. Back in the day, we used to have like a little toggle. This was one of the toggles where it's just as soon as you flip it, it would be inside of the incognito. But I want to actually pull this down just a little bit because I want you to see this in real time. So I'm going to go in details. And again, I'm not going to pause. Vince is not going to edit anything out. I'm going to show you how fast. I'm going to allow incognito. We see it pop up. I turn it off and it goes away. It is literally that fast. So it's really nice that you don't have to worry about refreshing or doing anything else. So it pops up. And as you can see, it hasn't started doing anything yet until we probably will reload the page. I click on here. It's because it wasn't here when we loaded the page initially. And so if we just refresh, and then it's going to start grabbing its data and stuff like that. Something else, you're like, well, I need to be able to see some of these other ones. So the other way you can do that is by making sure they're pinned. Let's go back into our actual here. Let's go back here. And so let's say we have something new. Let's come in here. And we wanted to add something to our actual pinned up here. We just have to come in here and do this little guy, pinning, and it changes it everywhere. And so we could see that here as well. If we wanted to see here, maybe not actually have it incognito or not. So this one right here is actually suggested by JJ Reynolds. And I know Mercer uses this all the time too, is a video speed controller. So if you wanted to be able to change the video to go 3 times faster instead of just 2 times, that is a way you can do that as well. So that is how you show incognito. That's how you now show it to be pinned, is you can have access to all of this information. So, and those are the Chrome extensions that every measurement marketer should be using. What was your one thing? Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can always stay up to date on what's new in measurement marketing. And now, if you wanted to have that course that we talked about the measurement marketing framework, just hang out for just one more second. We also have a way for you to get all kind of free things like that traffic tracking toolkit where you can have that UTM spreadsheet we mentioned. That's back there for free as well. But if you want to know more about the courses and actually join us and be able to ask questions inside of our support, Ask Instructor, Winner Circle, all that stuff, there are other ways you can do that too by joining the Measurement Marketing Academy. Go ahead and jump over to the link, measure.tips/getacademy, and you can see, is it the free option or the paid option that works best for you? Either way, we'd love to have you and love to hear from you, so let us know. And those are the basic extensions every measurement marketer must be using. We'll see you next time.